How are you, good people? Welcome back to Film Findings. In today's video, in a rural Indian village, four ordinary women begin to throw off the traditions that hold them in servitude in this inspirational drama. Parched is the story of four women in a desert village in Gujarat, India. The village and society suffers from many social evils, age-old traditions and practices of patriarchy, child marriage, dowry, marital rape and physical and mental abuse. Rani is a widow struggling to support her aging mother-in-law and teenage son, Gulab. Following the village customs, Rani marries Gulab to a child bride by paying a hefty sum to the bride's family. Meanwhile, Gulab is defiant, rebellious, and prefers hanging out with a gang of friends, spending time with sex workers. Janaki, the child bride, hopes to stop the marriage by cutting her hair but is still forced into the relationship. Lajjo lives in the same village as Rani, and is a close friend and helper in Rani's struggles. Lajjo is in an abusive marriage with Manoj, an alcoholic husband. After failing to conceive, Lajjo is ridiculed for being barren and therefore worthless in the eyes of her husband and society. The fourth woman is Bijli, an erotic dancer in a traveling entertainment company. Bijli acts as an advisor to both Rani and Lajjo. The film begins with Rani and Lajjo going to another village to meet Janaki and her family. Meanwhile, Gulab and his friends harass an educated, working woman until her husband, Kishan, arrives. At Janaki's house, Rani receives a call on a cell phone given to her by Gulab. The anonymous call started as a false number but evolved into shy flirting. Later, in the Gram Panchayat, the village participates in solving local issues. The first case is of a girl named Champa who ran away from her husband and tried to return to her parents. The Panchayat forces her to return despite the revelation that all members of her husband's male family rape her. Kishan and his wife try to intervene but are ridiculed for their progressive opinions. Kishan is a forward-thinking local entrepreneur and employs women in the village for craft and handloom jobs. The women tell the Panchayat that Kishan has secured a big contract for their handicrafts and hence they are ready to save money to install a TV. The elders reluctantly agree and this enrages some of the men in the village, including Gulab, who is furious with Kishan for trying to free the women. The conservative and patriarchal rural men are seen frequenting Bijli. She is increasingly turning down offers of sex work, which angers her boss, who threatens to replace her with a new younger girl, Rekha. We then see Gulab and the villagers going to his wedding in a bus. Arriving at the wedding, Rani sees injury marks on Lajjo's face. After the marriage is over, Rani sees that Janaki's hair has been cut. She gets angry at his mother and asks if she had given him so much money for this. On the way back home, Janaki falls in the bus and everyone starts laughing seeing her hair. Rani and Gulab both are sitting silently. Rani's mother-in-law dies at same night at home. Gulab's unhappy marriage exacerbates his anger issues and poor attitude towards women. Janaki is repeatedly beaten and raped by Gulab. Drunk Gulab and his friends take their anger out on Kishan. They piss on his handiwork and destroy them. Rani used to take all of her rage out on Janaki because she was unhappy with her life. One night Rani got a call from the same unknown caller and Rani got angry at him. Next day she shares this thing with Bijli and Laho. After meeting them she sees certain individuals remaining at her entryway at her home. She learns that they have kidnapped Gulab and are demanding money. When Rani does not have enough money, she seeks help from Kishan and his wife. There he learns that Gulab used to have sex in a brothel but did not pay the money. At home Janaki and her lover see each other. Just then Laho comes there after being beaten up by her husband. Rani also reaches home and all three women are unhappy with their lives. Frustrated, Bijli picks up Rani, Lajjo and Janki, and visits a local fort. Bijli tells Lajjo that women are not always the reason for not having children, sometimes men are also, and Lajjo learns that her husband may be infertile, not her. Bijli returns to the company and finds that her dancing spot has been given to Rekha. At Lajjo's house, her husband beats her. She goes to Rani and decides to have sex with Bijli's lover. Rani gets a call from an unknown caller and he tells her about himself and asks to meet. Next day at home Rani sees Janki's lover and asks him to leave, but he drops a book and leaves and Janki picks up the books. On the other hand, Lajjo becomes pregnant and she is very happy. She tells this to Rani. At night, Lahore tells her husband that the committee happy with her work, Kishan will give her salary and bonus every month. On hearing this, her husband gets angry with her and asks if she wants to make her husband useless in front of society and starts thrashing her. Rani is at her house looking for her money but does not find it and accuses Janki of stealing the money. In order to earn money, Bijli resorts to having painful sex with several men. Gulab comes home and starts thrashing and coercing Janki. Rani is listening to all this and remember her days of torture. Rani learns that Gulab has stolen her last savings and confronts her. The next day, Rani sells her house and pays off her loan. She relieves Janaki of her marriage so that she can be reunited with her childhood sweetheart and continue with her studies. Lejjo informs her husband about her pregnancy and he begins to beat her, implying that he was aware of his infertility. He accidentally falls onto a fire and is severely burnt, while Lejjo watches. Rani, Lejjo and Bijli finally decide to run away from the village in search for a better life, away from all the misery of customs, traditions and patriarchy. Thanks for watching. To support our channel, please hit the subscribe button and help make our videos go viral by liking and sharing them. We also encourage you to provide your feedback in the comment section.